Hi all, welcome to Java Talent. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to convert the Excel data into the list of Java objects. And actually, I will just going to simply use the one API, POIJI API, and then I will show you how that data we can insert into the database. So here I'm going to use MySQL as the database. So data which I am going to use in the Excel sheets, which I am going to show you here. So this is the simple data. What I am going to do is like name, amount, category, and bill date. Four column is there. So there is some details. It is filled up. So the name of this Excel sheet is invoice details sheet dot xlsx file. So there is the two versions like xlsx means like it is the Microsoft Word 2021 basically in my laptop. So it will depends on the Excel version. If you go before like 2007 and all, there is some different extension. But I'm using the 2021. So this is the extension is XLSX. So this is the Excel data which I'm going to refer for the today tutorial. So I have created one simple Java basic questions. So I'm just going to demonstrate how we can check that as the object, like convert into the object. So for that, basically, I'm going to use one dependency, which is nothing but quasi dependency. So this dependency you can grab from the Maven Central repository. So what you need to go here into the Maven Central repository and you need to type quasi API. So this is the basically which API I'm going to refer. So you can choose any one of the versions. For my case, I'm going to use this 4.0.0 version. So actually, I have created one simple project, Maven project, Java Maven project only. And then I will go to use the Spring Boot project also for this functionality. So this dependency you need to add into your Maven. So here I have added my Maven dependency. And what I am doing is actually I have created two separate packages. One is for data access like simple model class which I am creating here, and another one is test class by which I am going to test it. So if you see in this one, so in this model class, I am creating one model class in Voice Excel, and there is one value I'm going to take it as a row index. I'm going to use that row index to demonstrate into the ID field of the database. So if you see here it is not any value. So I am not mapping this field to the element. So this is just the Excel row basically. Whatever the Excel row it is referring. So for that I'm going to use it a row index. And if you see this Excel cell name, that means this name is referred to the cell. What cell I'm preferring means column value. This is the column value. So this is the name. The next one is Excel cell name is like amount. So here it is amount and then category and then bill that. So likewise, I have created the variable and I have used the toString method here to just print onto the console. So if you see this main method, so I have just created one main method by using the file object, file of file, new file. So this file where I have stored, I'm giving that path here, this slash Excel upload repo slash invoice details sheet dot XLS. And I'm going to actually it is having the multiple list now, correct? So for that reason, I'm going to create the list of invoice Excel. So this invoice Excel what I am creating here, and then I'm getting the object invoices, and then I'm going to refer this POIJI API basically. So if you see this POIJI API, so there is a lots of details. So let's see the declaration. So this is the like from Excel properties like that. There is a multiple method. Okay. So what method I'm going to refer is POIJI dot from Excel. So this method what it will do is convert the Excel rows into a list of object basically. Whatever the objects I am going to prefer, it will convert into that object. So what are the parameters we need to pass here? So we need to pass on to this method is first is file, Excel file. whatever it is, like .xls, what I was referring before, means before of that version, earlier version, 2007, 2008, like that version, or XLSS. Means it will work for both. Either it is the old version of that Excel or what file you are referring, Microsoft package, or the latest one. And then the type of the root object. That means which class I'm going to prefer, like model class. So here I'm going to pass this file and then the invoice excel.class. I wanted to convert into that object. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just printing the data. Whatever the invoices data it is populating from that Excel sheet, I'm just printing onto the console. So let's run this project. Then I will go for the Spring Boot one. See, so it is the printing the data. Invoice Excel, row index like 1. And then first value is Realme 8 Pro, amount is this one, category mobile, build date is 31st of March. So if you see the Excel, same value, first row it is picking up. And then it is going for the invoice Excel, row number 2, name, Samsung Galaxy, and etc. So similar wise, it is printing all the value here. If you see on the console. Fine. So this is not the big deal. This is the simple Java program which I am just going to use to demonstrate into the console. Now the thing is, I wanted to use the Spring Boot application to pick up that Excel and convert into the object, and then that value, that data I wanted to store into the MySQL database basically. So let's go there. So you need to do to create one simple Spring Boot project. So whatever the dependency I have added, I will let you know. So if you open that maven file, pom.xml file, you should understand I am using this 2.7.10 version of the Spring Boot, and I am using the Java 11. So if you see here, first I need to add the MySQL dependency. Why so? Because I am going to use the MySQL database to insert the value. The other one is Lombok API I am referring here to generate the auto, means like all constructor details like the setter and getter method, all the methods I'm going to use this Lombok API. You can refer my earlier video also where I have created these things. The third one is here, if you see, I have imported that POIJI API to conversion of that Excel sheets basically. And then I'm using this data API because with the help of data API, we can simply insert the data value into the database. So this is the 4 dependency I am using. Starter data API, POIJI API. This is not in the dependency list. If you are going to create this Spring project with the help of this IDE, you will not get it, might be. So you can grab this from the Maven central repository, like from here. I have just copied from this location. And then Lombok API and then MySQL. This is the things you need to do. Then what is the POIJI? POIJI is nothing but it is a Java library. It is the map Excel sheets to the Java classes. Means basically it will convert the Excel rows to a list of Java objects. In other words, we can simply say that it converts each row of the Excel data into one Java object. If you see like there is the multiple Apache POI and all, yes, there is the multiple API which you can refer. So if I am talking about this POIJI, it is internally using the Apache POI only to further the process, the type of conversion and all the details basically. So whatever the actually this is the external dependency what I am using here. But apart from this, you need to do like MySQL, Lombok, and then starter data JPA. These three dependency you need to add during your new project creation of Spring Boot. Okay, so let's go a step by step how we can do to check it like further. So first one, I need to create one simple uh, model class basically. So what model class I am creating here is, if you see entity repo I have given, so I have created one package com.javatalent.entity, and I am creating the invoice class. So let's close all the tab to not make any confusion. What is there in the form.xml? Is there any difference? No. So let's close it. Don't save because it is there already. Whatever the dependency I need, it has been already there. So let me close all the tab. Then I will let you know one by one. So this is the entity class what I have created. So if you see my entity class, I have created and I have used this entity annotations. This basically defines that this class is an entity and it is since 1.0 version. So in if you go there, this is the entity class invoice entity class I have created, and I'm using this ID tag to generate my table as the primary key. This specifies the primary key of the entity, and I am not giving any other table and all details. Like I'm not wanted to change the name of the table. So basically what it will do is once I will run the program, so it will generate the invoice table. It will create one table name with invoice. If you want to change the name, you can pass at the red table along with the name, whatever you want. And one at the red generated value notations I am going to use. This will be basically the generations type. Actually, I am going to use this primary key ID of that table. So basically what it will do, it will generate the value automatically based on the whatever the generations it will follow. So there is a lots of type sequence you need to follow, like here stage sequence generator type is like that. Whatever the details you need to provide, you can go ahead. Sequence generator basically. What is the sequence generator? So that I am going to use so that it will generate the value automatically in the database. Next is Excel cell name. If you see here one tag I have used, this is coming from the POIJI API basically. So this will, if you see here, created by some name is there, so you can refer anyone. So this will, what it will do, basically it will pick up the Excel cell name, whatever the cell name you will provide here, name of that column in the Excel sheet. So in my Excel sheet, there is the name, first column is name. So for that reason, I just wanted to get that name value. Then in the there is a difference. Like I have used the Excel cell and I am passing the integer value here. So this integer value, if you see it, indicates that the field declaration contains the Excel metadata. Basically, like indicates the Excel column, basically whatever the column 0 and then 1 amount. I'm going to pick that value. So means it will be with the amount. The second one will be like category. So it will pick the category here. Then again I'm using the build date as per the name. You can prefer one of the like way, like you can prefer by name or you can prefer by the column based, like value based basically. Anyway, you can work, but I'm using here the both the way. So there is no problem. So I am just using both the way to understand that there is the two way we can use to get the value of that particular field. So this is my entity class which is ready. Okay. So now I'm going to use the repo, help of the repo. I'm just going to do that with the help of Spring Data JPA. So here you need to create one repository like interface. Basically, I am creating the invoice repository interface, and here the type is like invoice, and the type of the ID is integer. This is my repository class. Basically, it is the interface. The next one is service class. So here I have created one service interface based on that Excel query service, and then I'm creating one method here declaring the method list of invoice get list from the Excel data, and then I'm going to do that implementation. So in the service implementation, basically you need to be aware. Here I am using the address service method to demonstrate this is the service class. Service annotations I am using here. Other places I have not used any annotation. So here I am using this service annotations to demonstrate this class is the service class. So I am using the Excel POIJI service implementation implements that interface, service interface basically. And here I am injecting the value from the property part. So I'm going to provide that path where my Excel resists. So I'm going to pass that path as the property value. So let's see the properties class. So here if you go to the properties file, so let's forget about this configuration. I will let you know. So just see here I have taken the one Excel file as the input for the storing the data from the Excel file. What is the file path I have given? File path D column slash Excel upload repo slash invoice details sheet.xls. Complete file name you needs to provide. Then that file path I am passing here to pick up the value of that file path. So if you see, I have overridden that method get list from the Excel data. I'm creating the file object, file of file, new file of that path basically, and then I'm going to get that invoice like in the earlier example also I have given the same thing. So list of invoices, POIJI taught from Excel, that file location, file path, and the your representative object class, like in which objects you need to map that data, that class you need to provide here. And then simply I'm returning that list. Okay, so let's go and check the, actually I'm going to run this program through the runner, runner class. There is the like multiple command line runner, or there is the runner. So I'm going to create one runner class here. So if you see, Excel data upload runner I have created, which implements the command line runner to test this example. So here I am creating the component, add that component to make it as bin object for the Spring Boot. And here we need to auto wire all the repository, like whatever the repository we have created, like repo class or the service class. So here invoice repository, I am auto wiring here to get the functionality of that repo, and then the service class. So basically service interface here. So here in this run method, it is the overridden method. So you can just check repo.save and that service dot get list of that from Excel method. Whatever the method you have taken, you need to pass that method to that particular repo.save all method. Whatever we have, there is the save all method in the repository. So this is my functionality wise, and then let's go to the properties file. Whatever the configuration I have given for the database. So here I am using the port number 8081. You can use any other port, not an issue. If you not provide this, you will get it like 8080. But in my case, actually there is the 8080 reached by Oracle. So I'm just going to change this port. If you want, you can ignore. So it will pick up the 8080 default port. And then the database configuration. So see, database configuration, the URL for MySQL. So URL for MySQL is JDBC MySQL /localhost 3306, and then your instance of that particular means schema name, basically whatever the schema you have created in your database. So let's see, for my case I am using this SQL workbench. So here in this SQL workbench, I am having this schema Java talent. So you can prefer any one of your schema if it exists. Otherwise, you can create simply your one schema in the MySQL. So this is the ID MySQL workbench I am using here. If you want, you can use. Otherwise, you can directly go through the command line interface. So this is the driver class name com.mysql.cj.jdbc.driver, and then Spring Data Source.username. So my username is root, and the password I have given is root only. And here it is the database like JPA details, which dialect I am using. So I'm using MySQL at dialect. And this is the DDL auto generate JPA.generate. DDL is true because it will check the generation mechanism. So I'm using the generation type. So for that reason, I have used this property as a true. And Hibernate TDL auto update means if table is already exists, it will update that schema, update that table based on their table name. Otherwise, it will create. So basically, if you see there is a multiple property, let me show you. Like create, it will create the schema and destroy the previous data. Create and drop. So it will create and drop the schema. Like if it is exist, none means none, nothing. It will be disable this DDL command. And update means like update the schema if necessary. Otherwise, it will create. Validate means validate the schema, make no changes for the database. So basically, update I am using is that like if table is exist, it will update. Otherwise, it will create. And this is the SoSQL spring.jpa.sosql means in the console, I wanted to see the query, like what SQL query it is going to generate once I will run this project. So it will show you the query on the console. Fine. So I hope we are ready for the run of this project. So let's see. In MySQL, there is no any table. So if you see, only the table it is exists in this schema is employee, but it is not related to me on this program. Actually, I have created for the other batch. So let's see. Go to the main method, main class, or you can run it from your configured here configurations. Anyway, you can run this project. So let's run this project. Run as a Spring Boot. So if you run this project as a Spring Boot, so see the console. Schema was not there. So what it is going to do is, like, if you see the console, Hibernate, it is running the Hibernate internally because data GPA is using the Hibernate things, and then it will creating one table, create table Hibernate sequence. Why so? Yes, because we have taken the sequence generator for that entity class. This is the generated value. So it will create one sequence generator for this ID value automatically. So see this console once again. See, and this is the database engine InnoDB. It is creating instance on that, and then if you see, it has been creating one insert statement. Insert into Hibernate sequence value is 1. First value it is taking as 1. Then it is creating one table with the invoice. This is the table which I was referring here. This one. If you have given the name with the other name, it will create the same table. But as we have not given, it will create the name of that entity class name as the table name. And is it taken as integer, not null, amount this one, bill this one, all the variable and parameters, and then one will be the primary key of ID, that ID which we have created through the sequence generator. And then what it is going to do is, first it is going to select the sequence, then updating the sequence, and then select the sequence means all the sequence it has been created first, means the ID value. Then it is inserting the value, insert into invoice, amount, bill, means how many records do you have in your Excel sheets, that many insert a statement it will perform to insert this value into the database. So see database detail. Just refresh your console here. See, now table is being created here. See, Hibernate sequence was not there, and then this invoice was not there. Let me see the data. So first see the Hibernate sequence. So if I am going to do is like select star from Hibernate sequence, it is giving the next value as 7 because 6 record is already there. And this is just the schema. If you see the column details, see next value, one column it is. Because it is going to use the index. What index I need to pick for the ID value. Next, see the invoice table. Invoice table, if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 column, it has 6 rows had been inserted based on our Excel sheet. 6 rows is there. Not this one, this is the one from second number. So it has been inserted all the value here into the database. See, amount, category, mobile, and all the details it has been inserted successfully into the database. Okay, so I hope you have been better idea on this one things, like how we can get the Excel. You can use any other third party or any other APIs. Like there is a lot of API, not the only POIJI API is there. You can use any API to do this task. I hope this is helpful for you. Please subscribe my channel and like my video. Thank you. Thank you for your time.